group meeting of environment sustainability, and I hope that all of us will be very much attuned to what the Environment Ministry is planning to do with regards to this third meeting of the Environment Sustainability Group. We have with us Additional Secretary of the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, Richa Sharma ji. We are also joined by the Additional Director General of PIB Delhi, who is in charge of media and communication of the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change. And I request Richa ji to first show us a presentation, and after that she will give us an overview regarding this third working group and what the ministry is planning by way of side events. And then we'll throw the floor open for questions. I request all of us to please keep our mobiles on silent. And when you ask questions, please introduce yourself and your organization. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm joined by my colleague, Mr. Nilesh Shah. He's Joint Secretary in the Ministry, and together we will be addressing any questions that you may have. So this is the third meeting of the Environment Climate Sustainability Working Group. It's a very important meeting because it is coming just before the ministerial, which will conclude our work. Yes. Right. So I just wanted to say that this is the third meeting of the ECSWG. It's a very important one because now we are building up towards the finale. This is just a snapshot in which you can see that the participation from the G20 countries and guest countries has been increasing. In the first ECSWG, of course, we had attendance of 124, attendance of 130. So far, the registrations we have for this meeting is 139. So you see that the participation from the G20 countries has been quite significant in all the meetings of the working group. So we have, we can see how many from the member countries, guest countries, and many, many international organizations. 14 international organizations are invited to attend the meetings of the Environment Climate Sustainability Working Group, and you have them listed here. It includes multilateral development banks, secretariats of the Rio Conventions, the energy-related agencies like IRENA. So there's a whole span of organizations that are working in the field of environment, climate, and nature. 10 guest countries have been invited. I think this is one of the highest number of guest countries being invited by any presidency. So 10 is a large number. So 10 guest countries, 20 G20 countries. Already there's a participation of 30 countries and 14 international organizations. So this is just giving a timeline that we had we assumed the presidency in December, then we met first in Bangalore, then we met second in Gandhinagar. Now we are having the third meeting in Mumbai, and our next meeting will be in Chennai in the month of July. That is when all the ministers of environment and climate from all the G20 countries will come. And then there is the summit meeting, which will happen in Delhi in September. That would conclude the work of India's G20 presidency. So this is just to show some of the highlights and snapshots of our second meeting that was held in Gandhinagar. And the purpose, as you all know, of the G20 itself is to bring together the world's biggest economies to address the pressing global challenges that require collective action. Climate and environment challenges in particular are those that require collective efforts. Each country individually cannot solve a problem like the climate crisis. And therefore, the Environment and Climate Sustainability Working Group is a very important working group that tries to build the resolve and ambition of all the G20 countries in addressing the pressing global challenges, whether it is biodiversity loss, whether it is combating climate change, whether it is arresting and halting land degradation, improving resource efficiency. So these are all the kind of challenges which this working group is addressing. So this is, as you know, that we always try to give an experience to the delegates. Besides the thematic discussions in a conference mode, we also organize thematic site visit and an excursion. So in Gujarat, the focus was on water. there was a big exhibition on integrated management of water resources. And as part of this excursion and site visit, we took them to the Adalaj Vav step well, which reflects the ancient water conservation practices in India. So our site visits are planned in such a manner that they always are related to our theme, but also give an experience to our delegates about the culture and other important. So I think the first one is the Adalaj Stepwell, and I think Mahatma Mandir also. So that is where the delegates had gone. In the third ECSWG meeting, our focus is on building a sustainable and climate resilient blue economy. That's one of the presidency priorities. And the attempt is to draw global attention to the need to combat ocean pollution and marine litter, and also the role of citizen participation. You are aware that sustainable lifestyles is a key theme of India's presidency. Climate action in particular can be democratized. Choices that individuals make can together make a big difference in helping reduce emissions. And the Honorable Prime Minister also gave a call for Mission Life, Lifestyles for Environment. And as part of that, we are organizing a mega beach cleanup on 21st May 2023. This is happening across several G20 and guest countries and in all the coastal states and union territories. Something happened here. Yeah. Right. So I think here we are just explaining the level of participation that we will have in the beach cleanup activities within the country, and also in other G20 and guest countries. So far, about 20 guest and invitee countries and 34 beaches across 13 Indian coastal states and union territories will join in this effort. This is a mega synchronized beach cleanup event. It means that in India, in all the 34 beaches, the work will begin at 7 a.m. and it will go until 9 a.m. So it's synchronized in that sense. We had encouraged other G20 countries to also start the work whenever it is 7 a.m. in their time zone. So, it would start first in Japan, and indeed Japan will do the beach cleaning effort ahead of India. And then Indonesia and other countries will take up, and it will go right up till Latin America, in Argentina, Mexico. Many countries are joining, including the United States, UK. So we have Nigeria. So a whole range of developed and developing countries, island nations that are joining in this mega beach cleaning effort. I think that is the signature event of the third Environment and Climate Sustainability Working Group. In India itself, we expect participation of around 10,000 people in various kinds of events that we will be organizing. In Mumbai itself, we are doing the event in Juhu Beach, and we are expecting a participation of various kinds of stakeholders here. G20 delegates are also invited to join in the beach cleaning effort in Juhu. And there are many things which are planned. One is sand art. I think Padmavadi Sri Sudarshan Patnaik is making a sand art on the G20 theme in Juhu. We'll also have the logo of Prakriti, which is the mascot of this ministry. And the ministry's logo is nature protects if she is protected, and Prakriti is the mascot. So all of that will be showcased through a sand art by Sudarshan Patnaik, and I'm sure you all would have heard his name, very well known. We also conducted a nationwide competition. Around 5,900 children participated on the theme of ocean and marine pollution, and we'll be displaying the top 100 paintings there at the venue. Recycling of collected plastic waste will also happen using the recycling machines, and materials made from recycled plastic would be on display. In India, as you know, that there is a ban on single-use plastic of less than 150 microns thickness. Plastic is the one which has the worst kind of impact on aquatic and marine life, and therefore we particularly wanted to draw the attention to the problem of plastic and ocean pollution in general. So different countries and different states and union territories are organizing different kind of things as per their requirement and as per their interest. So some of the things are just illustrated here. There are photography competition, painting competitions, selfie points, signature campaign. There's a beach pledge, that a pledge to protect the environment and keep beaches clean, and a pledge to support Mission Life. So that's the kind of pledge that will be administered across the states and MUTs and otherwise. So this is just a snapshot of the kind of things that will happen together. An Ocean 20 dialogue is being organized thereafter on day one. It will start at 11 o'clock, and this is an ocean, this will bring together all the national and international institutions that are engaged in the work of ocean and blue economy. Some of them you can see here: World Economic Forum, UNDP, the Norwegian Environmental Agency, National Institute of Ocean Technology. That means our national institutions working in the field of ocean research. INCOIS is also an Indian organization. IUCN is, of course, the International Union for Conservation of Nature. National Center for Sustainable Coastal Management, UNEP, ADB, UNDP, FICCI, there's industry participation also. So it will bring together a range of stakeholders to discuss issues related to ocean sustainability. So science, technology, and innovation for a blue economy would be discussed, policy, governance, and participation, and then funding for ocean action. So this is the kind of, we will be meeting in a conference mode for this particular discussion in this venue itself. As you know, that in every G20 working group, all the ministers adopt a declaration. That declaration expresses the ambition and resolve of the G20 ministers in how they plan to respond to the environmental, climate, and nature-related crises that are building up. So that communique is a draft communique. It has language related to climate change, biodiversity, land degradation, resource efficiency, circular economy, as well as blue economy. But exactly what has to be, what aspect has to be given more emphasis, what is something that needs to be given prominence now, all those kind of negotiations happen. So that's some of the work that we will begin in the third meeting of the working group. So the ministerial communique, as I just mentioned, that it would have these three are the key themes, and within that there are certain outcome documents towards which we are working. In the ocean-related sector, for example, we are developing a G20 high-level principles for a sustainable and climate-resilient economy. These principles are obviously non-binding, but they're expected to guide action in the G20 countries when they tackle ocean-related issues. Then there are other outcomes like the Gandhinagar Implementation Roadmap for strengthening the G20 Land Initiative, an information platform, then other outcome documents on circular economy in steel, circular bioeconomy, etc. So that was a short presentation about the work that we intend to do in the third meeting of the working group. I would repeat that the highlight of this third working group is the mega beach cleanup event. It intends to support Mission Life, the call given by Honorable Prime Minister, and it's an activity which will see a great deal of involvement of all 13 coastal states and union territories, and as I mentioned, 20 guest countries and 20 G20 and guest countries together combined. Thank you.
I think that was a very informative and all-inclusive presentation. So we can ask for questions, Sanjay ji.